This is Mr. Soto. I thought I'd share with the math team and anyone interested on how to do some math work with Microsoft Office program called OneNote. It has some really nice features, so you can do actual math on it. It has a lot of good things. I want to show you some things I did with Algebra 2 for Chapter 9, Section 1. For example, I want to draw a triangle first because I'm talking about trig ratios. So I go to the draw tool and I just draw a right triangle. It has some limits because there's no right triangle, so I'm actually just going to create one with this shape here, and I'm just going to do it like this and do a right triangle, and then I'm going to just connect this line here, and I've got a nice right triangle. I can also make that right triangle just by connecting this right feature right here. All right. And if that doesn't work, of course, you can just delete it and do it again so that you can have a nice right triangle. Extend the line this way. And then we could start labeling the triangle. We want to talk about trig features, functions. So we need to label some parts of it. For example, I want to call this angle theta. So I can do two things. I can do ink to math here and just draw what looks like a theta, and it recognizes it, and then I just insert it, and then I could just move it right into the position I want there, and click away, and it goes there. Now let's say that I want to find some of the functions, and they give me some of the sides on it. So let's just say that they give me this side. So I'm just going to click on there and type 5. Over here, they just give me 12. And I can actually click a little bit there, a little down if I want, and hit 12. And I want to find out what is the hypotenuse. So I'm just going to type in a question mark there. And then let's say I want to find out some of the functions. For example, I want to go in and find the sine of this theta. So I can just click this and just start using what we're looking to find out. Well, let's say that we need to find the hypotenuse first before we use this function. Well, the nice thing about this is that if you go here and you could go to equation, you can go right here to Pythagorean theorem, insert it, and then we could find out what is that side, which would be C. So then you could use, again, you could go back to draw, okay, and you can say that A is 5 squared. So I can go in here. These features you can add. You can add this, or you can go in here and add options like this. You can go into this if you can, or you can start using ink to math and say that we have 5 squared plus 12 squared is equal to x squared. And then we could insert that. So then you could do the math on the keyboard. It's nice and neat. So you got 25 plus 144 equals 169. If you hit enter, it automatically does it. But then you have to take the square root of this. So you can do ink to math and say the square root of 169. And if that doesn't, you can always erase it and make it neater if you need to. and so that you can get the 9 correctly done in there, and then insert that, and then just hit the key here and say equals to 13. So now I found that X, and I put in a wrong number. I can just say X is equal to 13 and just type it in. And of course you can move it and you can put in that that is 13. Now I could find all the functions of the sign. So I can do, then I can do the sign. So I can go back here and I can just click back on the X and put down 13, and there is my sign. The good thing with this program is that you can insert, you can draw lines, okay? You can erase those lines, medium like this. You can draw arrows if you choose by doing this, and then do another one if you want to show that that's the right angle and the hypotenuse is across the right angle. You can do show the sign by showing opposite, right, over the hypotenuse. You can highlight anything that you want in any particular color that you're interested in doing. You can write freehand here. For example, I could have done another way of doing this. I could have said, like, let's say I want the cosine of theta. I could have done this is equal to 5 over, that's maybe a little bit too big, so let me just erase this a little bit because it might be a little bit too big. And let's go back here, and that is equal to 5 over 13. And then we could use this lasso here to try to convert that to something like this. And of course, if it doesn't look good, you just erase this part. And then let's write a better number here, 5 over 13. Insert it, and there it is. And I found the cosine. So it's got some nice features here. You can insert equations. You can insert symbols, math symbols. Okay, let's say you go over here and you don't find something you want and you want to do insert a new equation. Now it gives you other options. So you can put in a fraction, you can put subscripts, superscripts, radicals, calculus, statistics. You could do brackets, sign functions, which we could have done this way as well. You can do accents, limits, operators, matrices. Anything with math really is kind of cool feature. And of course, that is your math with OneNote. Hopefully this helps.